Hello there, and welcome to the Marketing SOS Show. I am your host, Eric E., and on this show, I answer questions from you, my audience, regarding marketing, business, other questions in that realm. Really, each episode is me taking questions from a listener, just like yourself, and doing my very best to answer it. And on this week's episode, we got a question from Jack, who is dealing with a dispersed workforce, a very opinionated workforce, who is looking to figure out how to best do their jobs, but it's kind of rolling back up to headquarters and having some implications on controlling messaging. So let's get to Jack's question and my answer right after this. So Jack writes, "Hi Eric. What do you think of a Facebook business page for salespeople? I work for a company that sells services to people through a large force of salesmen and women. I have started to get many requests from the sales team that they each would like to set up their own Facebook business page to better manage their customers. Since they are still employees of the company and not their own company, I think this is a bad idea. I think it will spread the brand too thin. I'm having a hard time providing convincing rationale to executives who do not see it as a big deal. Any advice?" Well, Jack, it's a little tough to answer this one without really knowing your business, what you're selling, and how your salespeople are engaging with these customers. If they're just answering questions, maybe you can have a centralized person at the headquarters doing that. Now, if they are working on getting leads and engaging and following up with customers, that's a whole different story. If they've already found them and are working them, and they're unique to their geographic area or industry or whatever, that may be a different story. So one thing I would ask for you and your organization to think about is, what happens when that salesperson moves on? It's their Facebook page. They keep all those connections and followers, right? I'm curious what your clientele looks like if Facebook is the best way for them to connect. I'm assuming these may be end consumers instead of like other businesses or professionals. If they are looking to better manage their customers, I have two ideas. Are they looking for like a mass communication tool so they can blast information out to all their customers at once? Or are they looking at Facebook for its easy access to find details on customers and communicate with them? I'm on your side. In general, I think this is a bad idea. Too many Facebook pages, out of control, interactions you're not seeing, you're not capturing, can dilute your brand, especially if they're looking at it as a way of just posting updates on their Facebook page and trying to connect with them that way. If they're using Facebook Messenger to directly one-to-one connect and qualify leads and sell, that's a little different. So I am on your side. I do think it's a bad idea. However, if your sales team is selling to final consumers and not businesses, Facebook may be a great avenue to keep up with them. Yes, your company sounds like it desperately needs a CRM, which is a customer relationship management tool for your sales staff to qualify, manage, and sell to customers and keep things organized. This is especially useful when those salespeople move on. You still have access to all that customer information and can pass them on to a new sales rep. If you aren't selling to other businesses, reaching out over email or phone might not be the best method. Facebook, in particular Facebook Messenger, like I mentioned, may be a valid strategy for them. If the organization, and likely you, could control their Facebook pages and then allow them to communicate with customers through it on Messenger, that could be a potential solution. You could create branded Facebook pages for each of your sales staff, but you have access to them and give them user rights. You're the admin. They have user rights to go in and message customers, and that way you can still see who they're connected with and what they're saying, just in case something happens in the future. Now, one thing with this that you may not be anticipating right now is if you have this diverse sales staff across the country or whatever the area is, and they all have their own Facebook page, they are going to want some sweet graphics. They're going to want content. You will likely be getting a ton of requests for support in producing material and collateral for these pages. So that's going to be overwhelming for you, most likely. But you can also use it and create templates and other shapes that they're allowed to use so you can kind of protect that brand equity that you're looking for. Or, like I said, maybe you have a schedule or a tool like Buffer where you can push the same content to all these Facebook pages and just allow them to message and follow up with customers and not handle the actual publication of things. So it is really tough to say without knowing specifically what you're selling and what the industry looks like. And I can appreciate you not giving me too many details so you don't out yourself here. But without knowing more, it's a little tough. So I would say for sure a CRM is needed, and Facebook is a possible avenue if it fits your market and there are enough corporate controls over each page. So Jack, thank you so much for the question. I think it's one that, I haven't seen before, but I can totally appreciate where it's coming from. The sales staff wants tools. They want methods to better do their job, better track customers, qualify leads, and close deals. I can totally appreciate that. Facebook may be a great avenue to do that, but they just may not know of other tools or other methods as well. So it's always worth exploring what else is out there, what other methods can you use to solve this problem. Facebook may be the go-to one, but there are a ton of other tools that may help them as well. But that is one thing I struggle with. I am a little bit of a tool junkie. I always am looking for the next app or gadget that's going to help me be more efficient or do things in a better way. And sometimes I get a little bit lost doing that, to be quite honest. But it's always great looking at new tools. As long as you can integrate them or amend your existing processes to fully utilize them. I've seen a lot of organizations bring on new tools that don't get onboarded properly. They don't do the training. They don't win over their staff and enforce its use, and then it just dies. And that's a $30,000 investment that's not collecting dust because maybe it's not an actual physical thing, but it's software, but it's not getting used. So really, for everyone out there listening, don't always look at the tool or the proposed solution. Look at the problem. Find out what that actual problem is that someone's facing. And then you can try to develop a solution or a marketing tactic or a marketing strategy to address it. Look at the problem. Find out where they're originally thinking from, not necessarily what they're telling you to your face right now. Address the root cause, and your life might be a lot easier. So thank you, Jack, again for writing in. Thank you all for listening. And thank you in advance for giving me a review on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is you listen to the show. Ratings and reviews truly do help the show, helps me keep going, so I appreciate you doing that. Honest feedback is always welcome. And with that, thank you so much for listening. I hope you got a lot out of it, and I would love to connect with you, whether it's on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, wherever it is. Drop me a line. Let me know what you think of the show. And thank you again, Jack, for your question. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. And with that, I am out.